Welcome back. Happy Thursday. This is episode 5, how to actually make progress. So if you're anything like me, which you probably are because you're watching this video, then you've asked yourself, why is it that so many people can get so much done year after year, but I'm still in the same spot doing the same thing and I really haven't made that much progress? There really isn't a one-size-fits-all solution, but there are systems you can put into place and ways that you can unlock your potential, and that's what we're going to be talking about today. So let's get into it. The first thing that people overlook that could be their biggest roadblock is identifying a bottleneck, identifying the thing that's really stopping you from making progress. Obviously, everyone's obstacles are different. For some of us, that bottleneck can be something as little as time, fear, or lacking clarity. And for some of us, this could be as challenging as addiction, which, by the way, is no joke. If you're addicted to something and you find that that's getting in the way of everything you're doing, give yourself some grace, stop being so hard on yourself, because that's what addiction does. And if you keep putting that pressure on yourself to be perfect, then you're never going to be able to overcome that addiction, and it's always going to be something that hurts you and haunts you. So if something like addiction is your bottleneck, then I encourage you to get help on that. And that in and of itself is a huge amount of progress you can make if you can even go from being addicted to something to less and eventually not addicted at all. That's a massive obstacle that many people never overcome in their entire lives. I don't want to just hurry and skip over to the next step because this is actually something that's really, really important. And if you can identify what that obstacle is for you, then it's going to be a massive help in your progression. So pause the video real quick. You could write this on your phone or your laptop or something, but honestly, I just recommend you grab a pen and a piece of paper and just be brutally honest with yourself. Nobody has to read this, but if you can put this from your mind onto a piece of paper, then it's gonna help you know that next step that you need to take. Seriously, pause the video, write down what's holding you back. I promise it's gonna be worth it. How to actually make progress. Step number 2 is develop a vision that really excites you. Without a clear vision you're super excited about, you're gonna keep latching onto every shiny object that comes in front of you. And I know that because that was me before I had a vision of where I wanted to go. A couple years back, I wrote down my vision and I wanted to achieve this dream. Then I was able to achieve that goal and that was amazing. But where I went wrong was I didn't write down another goal, another vision to work towards after I achieved that one. So honestly, for the last year and a half or two, I think I could have made a lot of progress, but I became pretty comfortable and complacent because I had already achieved what I wanted to and I didn't have anything else I was chasing. If you currently have somewhat of a vision, but you still find yourself being distracted by shiny objects going from one thing to the next, it's probably because the vision that you have right now doesn't excite you enough or isn't strong enough. So here are some questions to help you get some clarity on that. The first question is, what is something that you've always wanted to do that you keep putting off? Starting a business, starting a YouTube channel, learning how to cook, learning how to take photos. One thing that I've always wanted to do is create really high quality products of my own. Coffee table books, clothes, prints of photos I've taken. And most of all, a North Star for me, a big dream that I have, is to be able to create a watch that's so good and so refined that it's a direct competitor of Rolex, Breitling, Audemars Piguet, some of the best watch brands in the world. That's a huge dream that I have and something that I've started working towards, which is actually why I started this YouTube channel. So again, what is something that you've always wanted to do but keep putting off? The next thing that I want you to ask yourself is, who inspires you and what is it about their life that excites you the most? For example, you might be inspired by a musician, but then if you think about their life and traveling and all the stuff they have to do, and if that's not a life you envy, then you might want to look towards another source of inspiration that replicates the life that you want to live. And the third question I want you to ask yourself to really open your mind is, if you could do anything, what would you be doing if you knew you weren't going to fail? Think about that thing, write it down. Are you super excited about it? Because if you are, then you chose the right thing. And if not, keep looking for something that gets you really, really excited. The third thing that I want you to do to actually help you see progress is reconnect with things you're obsessed with and things that excite you. What gets you really, really excited? What's your North Star? It could be owning a supercar of your own one day, a GT3 RS, or it could be having a family of your own and wanting the financial stability to be able to take them to Disneyland without having to worry about the finances. Or that North Star for you could be making a huge impact, making a change, and having that strong desire to really build a legacy and leave something behind. Whatever that is, write that down. If you're having a hard time figuring out what those things are, then write down 3 things that completely make you lose track of time. Now, the fourth and final step to help you actually see progress is to give yourself permission to start messy and to start just because you're really, really excited about it. Maybe you're not excited about it. Maybe the progress that you want to see is in the gym and you're not excited to start eating better and you're not excited to go run on the treadmill for an hour. But even in this case, if you're not particularly excited about the process, then find ways to get excited about the results. My wife and I, a couple months back, we were in Singapore, and in the hotel we were at, there was a quote on the wall and it said, "Don't wish for it, work for it." And I found that when you give yourself permission to just work for it and go after it, you actually save yourself a lot of energy not thinking about wanting it. Just remember that you're not alone if you deal with mental health challenges or addiction or different things that you're working through personally right now. These things can all be barriers and almost always are, but just know that it's okay. Give yourself permission to work through those things, or give yourself permission to start even if you don't have those things worked out. Because at the end of the day, progress isn't about perfection, it's just about taking the next step. And if you take the next step enough times, you can look back and see how far you've gone. And that is what progress is all about. progress doesn't come from perfect circumstances. It comes from understanding and identifying the bottleneck, the thing that is getting in your way, and doing what you can to mitigate that so you can take the next step. Lastly, I just want to invite you guys to give yourselves permission to take that next step today, regardless of what your bottleneck is, regardless of the things that are making your situation imperfect. Because I know that if you take that step a couple times, you're gonna be really proud of the progress that you made. And that's what I want for you guys, that's what I want for myself, and that's why I made this video to share with you guys, and I truly do hope it's helpful. And if it was helpful, and if you did like it, comment, give it a like. These things are really helpful for me, not just because it helps me grow, which is super beneficial for me, and I'm thankful for that, but mostly because it helps me realize what you guys like and helps me know what to make content about next so that I can continue helping you guys build your dreams and so that I can build mine along with you. Thanks again for being here. Please subscribe. I'll see you in the next one.